Kevin Gausman, first game against Arizona, he had 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Clay Holmes, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Matthew Boyd yesterday, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 Ks. That's 20 innings, giving up only 8 hits, 1 earned run, 5 walks, and 16 strikeouts. Yet somehow the Cubs lost the series.
It's so frustrating because excuse me.
I know it's something to choke you up. Sad.
Your starting rotation is set. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're good there. And so you got to like find ways to win those games when that part of your, the front office went out at the trade deadline and said, we know we need to bolster up this starting rotation. And they did that. And the proof is in the pudding. You just read off the numbers. And it's like, oh, you lose the series? It's like, dang. Like,
and
that's frustrating.
Against an Arizona team that is currently sitting 1 game out of the wild card spot, right? They have their battering ram of pitchers. That we know for sure. Obviously, we saw it on display over the last 3 games. But when you're looking at teams that the Cubs would have to face, I mean, it's not going to be any easier when you're talking about, like what 3 pitchers an opposing team is going to put out there. It gives you a snapshot into October without a doubt, right? This is what playoff baseball could look like for the Chicago Cubs. And because let's be very clear, are you confident that those 3 guys can duplicate that, every single time they get on the mound? No, they haven't. They haven't even for the Cubs.
Right.
Let alone for so you actually almost had like lightning in a bottle with these guys. 2 guys who weren't even on your roster at the beginning of the season. And then a Matthew Boyd star who's been up and down as well. So I think that's the more frustrating part for me when I look at this situation for the Chicago Cubs. The offense, I'm not worried about. I mentioned that in the pick 6. But if you're going to get this level of starting pitching and still lose to a team that is on the outside of the playoffs, like that's the concerning part for me when you're looking at this Cubs team. And listen, PCA going over 10 or to start the series is more than likely not going to happen. You understand that's why he was frustrated. But I think the part that you got to look like where the area for concern is like, damn, we got the best pitching we probably will be able to get. And we couldn't muster up even a series victory. Like that to me is a cause for concern.
Yeah. And that goes back to what we were talking about in Pick for Six.
Maybe that should be the new name. Come up with a jingle for it.
I only listen to the show every morning. Pick 6 is, where is your area of concern when it comes to the consistency in the offensive output? That to me is sort of the big question mark is, and I know they're like, it's not October, right? So you remember, like we talk about Bruce,
Sure,
reminding us all the time, it's a long season. There's a lot more baseball to play and you're going to have your ups and downs. Dansby out of the lineup. How does that shake things up? How does that affect the way guys are hitting? And I know, we can't put it all on one person and this is baseball and guys are in and out. But with that being said, like, that's a really good practice run of like, those are your top 3 starters and you got to win 2 out of 3.
It is. I mean, it's got to be frustrating. And phone lines are open. 312-644-6767. Gabe Ramirez, Ruthie Polinsky holding it down for Score Mornings right here. And I when I'm thinking about this specifically, because then I go back to the balk, right? Like the biggest storyline from yesterday. It's like, am I more, as a sports fan, am I more upset about the missed balk call or the fact that the Cubs lost the series?
You got to be more upset that the Cubs lost the series.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Like that one.
I want to be upset about the balk. I want to be upset about the missed call. I want to be equally as upset as
you can't
Pete
win
Armstrong.
games on other teams' errors. You can capitalize on other teams' errors, but you can't depend on winning games because other teams mess up. Like,
this is the kind of series that halts your fanatic momentum, where the Cubs are hot, winning all these games. You're starting feeling yourself. The lead shrinking in Milwaukee. I'm sitting here talking to David, trying to convince him to say that the Cubs are going to overtake Milwaukee, like things like that. And then this happens. Dustin said it a second ago. It's been that kind of a season where, when the Cubs had their 10-game winning streaks, the multiple ones, everything was fiery. Bullpen, starting pitching, the hitting was great. And then there came that little slump where I was trying to be optimistic, and most Cubs fans are like, nah, we see the writing on the wall. This team's not going to go as far as we wanted them to go. And now here we are where you lose a series like that against the Diamondbacks, and we're complaining about the hitting of the Chicago Cubs. And I do think it's frustrating when you're looking at that because this is a good Cubs team. Run differential sitting at 119. Above 500 at home and on the road. 7 games above 500 on the road. 18 games above 500. This is a good team.
Yeah.
And somehow we're still finding these flaws that are glaring on this Cubs squad.
That's sports. That's sports talk radio. That's
True.
sports. I think you are, again, prisoner of the moment in these situations where you're frustrated that the Cubs weren't able to capitalize on those performances, but you look at the schedule and we could be having a very different conversation next week. Thank you, Dustin.
Dustin coming through,
saving the day.
But like, you're playing against the Reds team that yesterday had an incredible comeback against the San Francisco Giants. Logan Webb was just pitching a gem for San Fran. Lodolo was pooping the bed yesterday for the Reds. And so now all of a sudden they're feeling themselves. Lauder's on the bump today. Drew Peterson. Like, imagine Drew Peterson, what kind of pressure you're putting on him. You went 1-2 against the Diamondbacks. Now you're facing a Reds team that you should be beating, and then you're leaning on another guy you got at the trade deadline. Like, it's just not an ideal situation for the Cubs. And I want to talk to you Cubs fans. Again, phone lines are open. You're seeing what happened over the last series against the Diamondbacks. They had been playing well. You did get a good pitching performance. Like, are you confused emotionally, the Cubs fans, when you're seeing what just happened over the Diamondbacks? Or are you looking at the situation and just your feelings have been validated when you're thinking about the inability to make a deep run on this team? Because the question I asked before the break was, if you got that level of pitching, right? Because this is more like a temperature check for Cubs fans. If you got that level of pitching as you did over the last 3 games, how deep can the Cubs go? Like, if you're going to hold true for that, because in the moment, that's what you're missing, right? You're not necessarily worried about the offense because that's been coming through. You're wondering who the hell is going to be pitching for the Cubs. Well, if you're able to get the performance you got over the last 3 games, Cubs fans, you should be able to tell me how deep they can go. Like, was this an outlier of a series against the Diamondbacks? Again, phone lines are open, 312-644-6767. Ruthie, what do you think? If the Cubs were to get that level of pitching, how deep can they go?
The starting pitching, like, that's World Series starting pitching. Like, that's pitching that can carry you to the World Series. I'm not saying that the Cubs, the way they're playing in this very moment, is good enough to get you to the World Series as a team, but the starting pitching is.
Giving up
what we've seen,
1 run in 20
innings. Like, come on. That's what you're looking for.
It's got to be frustrating if you're Craig Counsell, looking at your starting pitching. You bring in guys in from all over the place. Jed Hoyer's got to be, running up a wall right now. Like, hey, guys, I did it. I got you Gausman. I got you Clay Holmes. I got you 20 innings in 1 earned run. Now we're going to throw out Drew Peterson out here. Help yourselves.
Yeah.
I can only do so much in these situations, and it's frustrating. And you know what adds to frustration? Missed calls. And that's why yesterday the balk was that much more frustrating. PCA over 10 heading into the moment. And obviously, you get to that situation where he hits the double, gets on third, sitting there, assuming he's going to, get home. It's tied up 0-0 at that point. And it's just frustrating for him. And then the balk happens. Now, Torey Lovullo talked about the balk at length yesterday after the game. I want you to take a listen and pay attention to the way he described it.
If all 4 of them have it, they're going to call a balk, and then they break it down from there. But without them all having it, I think they got their minds together and did the best they could. So sounds like it was a balk based on the reaction and the facial expression you guys are giving me right now, because we wouldn't be talking about it. So everything that PCA does is fast and like electric. So that's why he's one of the best in the game. And his response maybe told us how frustrated he was. So whatever happened, and we won the game. That's all I can go on.
Look at that. He's been so nice. He comes on. He says, hey, you know what? Third base coach had the right to do whatever he wanted in that situation. Really nice guy. Then they win the game. Praise for PCA. But I know the frustration for me, Ruthie, would come from the fact that none of the umpires saw it. You're telling me all 4 agree that it was not a balk? Like, that's the part that's frustrating because you're an ump and you're getting paid these dollars to be paying attention to stuff like that.
Wouldn't you love to be like a fly on the wall in that huddle of the four of them? It's like, did you guys see it? Did you see it? No,
He's like, I think I saw his leg, and then the other one's like, no, it didn't go down, and it's like, nah, okay,
Yeah.
sure, it's not gonna be the case.
But like, listen, like that's their job, like to watch for this stuff. So it's really hard, and of course you miss things in every sport. It's not a perfect. There's a human element, which is why we love sports, because there's a human element and mistakes and missed calls. Like, it gives you something to talk about and be sad about or happy about or whatever it may be. But when they all huddle up, it just, especially in a year with the ABS and incorporating
2026
replay.
We're in 2026.
We
Get it
have
right.
the technology, so use it.
Especially in a pivotal moment like that. It's Ruthie Polinsky along with Gabe Ramirez here on 104.3 The Score. Let's go out to the phone lines. 312-644-6767. We got Rick out in Des Plaines. Rick, when you're thinking about the playoffs, I asked the question, if the Cubs were to get this level of pitching performance from these three guys, how deep can they go in the playoffs? Who do you think is going to ultimately end up letting them down?
The manager of the team. Last year he blew the playoffs when he didn't know how to use Boyd, and he's doing the same thing now. You can have the fastest car in the world, but if you don't have a good driver, you're never going to win the race. And that's the problem with the Cubs. He makes bad decisions. He puts the wrong pitcher in. The other day, Palencia hit the guy in the head. Should have took him out of the game right away because that works on your mindset for the game. And he didn't do it. He left him in the game, and then we blew the game.
Thanks for the call, Rick. I appreciate it. I don't know if I would say that Craig Counsell is going to be the reason why the Cubs would lose anything. They have an extremely talented team. I think sometimes you just run up against a better one in certain moments. Obviously, over the course of this last series, that was the case for the Cubs. Listen, he pulled Shota immediately when he wasn't having a good game. He can't make Daniel Palencia be a lockdown closer. He's thrown in other guys in certain situations, Zephyr John, Thornton. I mean, it's hard. Managing a bullpen is not easy. But if I'm not mistaken, he has a reputation for being one of the best to do it. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if I'd say
That's why he's here.
That's why he got paid. That's why Rossi's not here, and why Craig Counsell is in that situation. I don't worry about Craig Counsell. I worry about the Cubs themselves. I worry about, I do worry about PCA at the top of the order. I do worry. Like I see his blow up yesterday, and I'm like, I thought we were past that. I thought we were like, imagine if Shohei, because hey, we're having the conversation, Shohei versus PCA. Imagine Shohei going 0 for 10 to start a series, and then he's out, throwing a tantrum out there. I think that'd probably get more attention. So I think the PCA tantrum isn't getting enough attention either. And that might be the Sox fan in me, but
Yeah, I think it was just on SportsCenter.
was it the blow up?
Yeah, it was.
But I'm talking about the narrative surrounding it.
Oh, sure.
Like
Sure.
they're probably saying that PCA was upset last night because of the
Right.
balk call, and then they're playing like him being upset in the dugout when it was a completely different inning. Right? It was the inning before, or his at bat before, that he had the blowout in the dugout. Then he had the balk blowout. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're
feel
saying. Yeah.
Like you went on your 10th at bat that you didn't get a hit. You showed the frustration in the dugout.
Yeah,
And then you let
yeah.
it bleed over on the balk call. I think there's something there for that.
That's something. Real quick, back to the Craig Counsell
Sure.
thing. Like, I think it's really hard to criticize the way he's managed the pitching staff with all of the problems he's been dealt this year, with all of the injuries, all of the issues. Like, and for them to be sitting where they are now on August 27th, like, I understand maybe it's not perfect, but like, it's really like, you got to give Craig Counsell some credit for the way he's handled all the injuries.
Yeah. And he handled yesterday well as also, in discussing the balk situation. He was cool as a cucumber when he went out there initially. Like, I felt like he went out there with like a dad, and, trying to stop a fight. Like, hey guys, I saw what happened. Hey guys, come here. Hold on. You telling me you didn't? I saw you stepped off the mound. What are we doing?
Right.
I thought that was great. But he addressed it after the game. Take a listen.
Yeah, they flat out missed it. It's obvious to everybody on TV. It's obvious to anybody. They missed it. So it's. I don't even know what to say. It's hard to argue when they just flat out miss it. It was clear that they The umpires said he did not disengage from the rubber. He disengaged from the rubber in his windup. Tough call for the home plate and second base umpire. Easy call for the first and third base umpire.
And that's not something that can be reviewable by
No.
anyone?
Pete is a player who plays with a lot of emotion. Look to you and your coaching staff, talk to him about that in that moment.
Nothing.
Craig
love
Constantine. He said it. He disengaged from the rubber, and you can't do that.
It's clear and obvious.
You got to stay locked in.
Gabe.
And no, you got to stay locked in those situations. 312-644-6767. Let's go to Al out in Vernon Hills. Al, when you're looking at this Cubs team, you see the series going 1-2 with exceptional pitching, but you think the Cubs should just be better in the present anyway, right?
Right. So I'm going to keep it simple with 3 bullet points. Can you hear me okay?
Excellent.
As I'm driving to my job on the north side of Chicago from Vernon Hills, and the sun is shining, I remind myself all the time, I focus on the positive. So, yes, yesterday was wrong. And I'm an official, and I make mistakes. And obviously, if I had 4 officials, come on. I mean, that's a no-brainer that we would be tied. We could have won the game. But that's over. Let's turn the page and say we are going into September with a very, very talented squad. And I know one thing I've heard all my life. Great defense, and we have the best defense. Great pitching, and we're loaded with pitching talent. We're going in, and we are 18 games over 500. Next bullet point. Focus on positivity. I'm always saying that to myself as a salesman and as an official. I'm not perfect, but let's focus on the positivity. The sun is shining, and we're 18 games over 500, and we got all of September. And the third bullet point, Cub fans. There's something special about being at Wrigley. We've got home field advantage. In fact, all those wild card teams, maybe we don't catch the Brewers. We've got home field advantage, except I think the Miami Marlins are the only team that we don't have that with. But I just think we're going to win it all. And I'm not just, my optimism is real.
I like it.
Real.
I hear what you're saying, Al. I hear what you're saying. And I was trying to follow the bullet points. I really was trying to do my best over there.
We all were.
And if you're reffing any of my kids' games, I would love it. Could you imagine? Just like very calm and cool.
Like,
hey
hey.
guys, come here.
Hey.
Positivity. You're fine. You guys are gonna go deep on this one. I love it. Thanks for the call, Al. I
Al's
appreciate
great.
it.